Hey everyone, welcome back. Erica here again. If you're new to the channel and you have managed to look through my content, if you like the content that you're viewing, and of course if it's helpful for you, please be sure to subscribe, as I do update my content often. To all of my returning subscribers, welcome back. Now in this video, what I wanted to talk about was the narcissist hoovering tactics and how to respond to it. Now, a lot of people have heard the term hoover. And if you hear the word hoover, what's the first thing that comes to mind? A vacuum cleaner. Hoovering is a technique that a narcissist uses to suck you back into an emotionally, mentally, and in some cases, physically abusive relationship. So it's pretty much their maneuvers to get you right back in. Now, hoovering tactics will vary. Okay, and not everyone's situation is the same, right? But I'm going to give you a scenario. We're going to call this couple Jane and Rob, okay? Jane and Rob break up. Rob was, throughout the course of the relationship, demonstrating everything that a narcissist represents, which we've gone over in a lot of the videos. And she pretty much decided that enough's enough. Gaslighting, manipulation, everything, enough is enough. Everything that Rob was doing was just too much for her to handle. So she decided to cut off contact and stay away from him. She decided to take control of her life again. And after a certain period of time had gone by, he decides to contact her. He decides to send her a request on Facebook or even show up at her doorstep. And in the midst of this contact, he is professing his love to her. He is sorry. He did not mean to do the things he did. He didn't mean to say the things that he said. She's the love of his life. She's the only one he's ever wanted. He was wrong. He made mistakes. He was sorry. He's repented. You know the song and dance. Now, that is pretty much an idea of what a hoover tactic is. It's a way to play on someone's heartstrings, especially when you, not you personally, but of course the narcissist, has demonstrated a lot of manipulation and has already seen that the victim was at a very, very deep point in their lives, willing to do anything for the perpetrator. They were willing to be, do, say, act any kind of way that person wanted. Now, this would also depend upon when the narcissist decides to re-enter the victim's life. Now, bear in mind that the reason the narcissist is doing this is because it could be a number of reasons. One, they just want to regain control because they felt that in some way, shape, or form they've lost. Or two, the narcissistic supply for which they did all of that nonsense ran extremely low, and they pretty much need to refuel as soon as possible. Now, depending upon the time the narcissist decides to come back into the victim's life, really depends on where the victim stands in their healing. If they have not fully healed, then chances are the victim might fall for it. They might actually demonstrate that they still have feelings for the narcissist. And of course, any slight view of that, the narcissist will jump at that. They'll take it to their advantage, and they will pull at the victim's heartstrings. And they will basically, we all know how it goes. There's a brief honeymoon period where everything seems like it's fine. They seem like they've changed. They seem like their behavior has gotten better. When in reality, once you allow them back in and they're able to win in this case, that mask has a very thick skin, okay? And what that mask is covering is a deeper, darker sense of manipulation, abuse, and if you've ever gone back to a narcissist, you'll notice that it just gets worse. The fighting, the toxicity, everything just gets completely worse. But without further ado, we're just going to get into the tactics. Now, one of the tactics that they use that I am extremely familiar with is pretending that the relationship is not over. Now, once you've decided to completely cut off contact with the narcissist and you've decided to have nothing to do with them, what they will do is they'll continuously send you messages, the same messages. They may show up at your house. They may show up at your job. They may continuously harass you. They'll continuously send you text messages online. They will continuously try to sabotage you and your life because in their mind, the relationship is not over. You know it's over. You said it's over, but because it wasn't on their terms, it's not over. So they will pretty much make your life a living hell. Now, another thing that they will attempt to do in an effort to try to get you back is send you gifts. They'll send you things like flowers and candies and cards and things to that effect. This is all a way to kind of try to buy you back, and it's all unexpected. So you have to be very careful with that. Don't accept anything from them if you have made it perfectly clear to them that you want nothing to do with them. All right. Another attempt is apologize. They may come to you and claim repentance. They might try to say, well, listen, I've learned the errors of my ways. I'm so sorry for how I treated you. I was wrong. I have problems and so forth and so on. This is an attempt to gain remorse out of you. Be very careful because their apologies can be very convincing. They can literally come with tears in their eyes and say, I'm really sorry, truly sorry. It will never happen again. If you know for a fact the person or the people that you're dealing with are narcissists, use discernment. Don't fall for it. Do not fall for it. Now, another technique that they use is indirect manipulation. Now, since they are unable to get through to you and manipulate you directly, they're going to do it indirectly, which means that they're going to use external people to get the messages to you. They may use friends. They may use family members to try to get messages to you. They may even use your own children if you share children with them. They may pin the children against you or use the children as a tool to try to get you right back in. Now, in using friends and family, they may resort to slander, saying slanderous things, saying lies, gossiping, all because though they know it's not true and you know it's not true, it'll spark a reaction from you, forcing you to confront them, okay? So they can try to get you hooked back in. Because, of course, at some point, if you get tired of hearing all of the nonsense, what better way than to come in contact with the narcissist than confronting them for the nonsense that they're doing? Now, if they're using your children, they might either, like I said, use your children against you, where they might hold them as a tool, especially if they have custody of the child, hold them as a tool, or they may use the child to try to talk to you. For example, if they're on the phone with you, they'll have the child talk to you. They'll coach the child. They can coach the child in telling the child what to say if you're in communication with the child, just to try to convince you to make the family work or to come back home. Or they'll have the child write letters to you to kind of play at your heartstrings. That is one of the most powerful techniques that narcissists use, especially if you love your children, because they know you love your children. They know that you would do anything for your children. What better way than to manipulate your own child to convince someone who clearly does not want to be with you to come back and be with you? It's very sad, unfortunately, but that is a low down dirty tactic that they do use. Now, another tactic is sending random messages or ghost calling. I know some of you must be really familiar with this. Now, sending random messages means, for example, if it's your birthday, oh, hey, just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Or if they happen to be at a spot that you often frequented with them. Hey, I'm at Joe's Pizza and I was just thinking about you, wondering how you're doing. They may send you messages such as, oh, wish your Uncle Tom a happy birthday for me. Things like that. They want to engage with you. So they'll send you random messages at random times to engage with you. Now, be very careful with this. And the reason I say this is because victims, when you have a trauma bond with a narcissist and you're just in the beginning stages of your healing, or you haven't fully let go of that bondage, you may be tempted to reach out to the narcissist yourself. You may be tempted because you're still in that addiction mode. You're still going through withdrawals. You understand? So you might be, so don't confuse yourself in thinking, well, I've done this, maybe I'm a narcissist. No, because if you're still in that stage of addiction, you're still in that stage of withdrawals, you're going to slip. You may slip, and it has happened. So you have to just be very careful. Don't switch the roles. If you are not the narcissist, if you are the victim and you are the one who went through the motions of it, if you have a slip, you have a slip. Just make sure that that slip doesn't happen again. But also on the same subject, on sending random messages, if the narcissist is with a new partner and they have, obviously still have your number, they will send a message that is intended to hurt you, knowing that it's going to hurt you, but more so to spark a response out of you. So let's just say they have a new partner and they say, hey, honey, I love you. I miss you. Can't wait to see you. I'll be home at 7. Knowing that they sent it to you, but it was an accident. They accidentally sent it to you. Change your number. Change your number. Okay? If you want to go full-blown no contact, you have to change everything. You have to change your number. You have to change everything, okay? Because when you leave just a little bit of a crack open, they will find a way to get through that crack and try to get to you. However, if you have children and you cannot change your number, then my strongest advice to you is to go gray rock, all right? Put them on do not disturb. And unless it's pertaining to your children, don't pay any attention to them. Don't pay any mind to them. All right. But another technique that they use is faking vulnerability. They will fake vulnerability. That's how low a lot of narcissists will go. They will go as far as claiming a very big illness, sickness. They're in the hospital, and that's pulling at your heartstrings because you have a natural tendency of being compassionate. You're human. So if the narcissist is claiming to be in the hospital or claiming something extremely horrific has happened, naturally you are going to respond. You got to be careful with that. Okay, be very, very careful. Some of the deeper, darker ones may go as far as, contacting you, messaging you, sending you voicemails that, they're seriously hurt, or, if you don't respond, they're going to kill themselves. Like this is all an attempt to hoover you back in, because they know that you are a compassionate, giving person. They are going to try anything possible to get you back in there. All right. And this is by far one of the most, seriously, it's just, you have to be really low to do something like that. But unfortunately, when it comes to a narcissist, they cannot feel unworthy. They cannot feel unloved. They cannot feel anything. They are just, it's up here, and they need to really just get a grip on reality, seriously. And of course, you have the ghost calling, where they'll call you from blocked numbers. They'll block the number, or they can call you from random numbers. And if you pick up the phone, you won't hear anything. They'll just, they'll be listening to you, but you won't hear anything. That is very creepy, very eerie. I really cannot understand how people can do that. But that's more also along the lines of stalking, because narcissists, they do have the, the tendency to stalk. So even if they, were the ones who ended it with you, they're the ones who decided to go on their own way and do whatever it is they wanted to do, they will still watch you. They'll still monitor you on what it is that you are doing, because they have to also be sure that if they decided to come back in and wanted to use the Hoover, they have to keep an eye on you. Now, another tactic that they use is abandonment. After a failed Hoover, what they're going to do is they're going to retract. They're going to retract their interest in trying to reconnect with you. That's an attempt to spark a fear in you. Now, this mostly goes for people who have not even begun the stages of their healing. They're just right now in the midst of going through no contact and trying to pick up the pieces. They're going to retract in an effort to try to trigger the terror of rejection and abandonment, where you would possibly say to yourself, oh my God, this is really over and that is it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Look at my last video. Remember what you went through. Remember the reasons why you decided to go no contact. Remember why you decided not to be a part of the game anymore. All right? Someone sits there and tells you, well, you know what? F you then. You don't want to make it work with me, and you don't want to do this, and you don't want to do that, and, you know, false promises and everything. Don't fall for it. Don't. And if you have fallen for it, don't blame yourself. Don't blame yourself, because at the end of the day, in that dynamic, there are going to be two types of people. One is a blood-sucking, energy-sucking vampire who wants to make you miserable all for their own kicks. The other is the person who treated everyone like a human being, treated that person like a human being, treated them like they were a man or that like they were a woman. Don't fall for it. Another technique is making you doubt and question yourself. Now, most narcissists, what they tend to do after a breakup, they try to make it seem as if they're doing the good deed by saying, let's be friends. Let's be friends, and, you know, we can still stay in contact and we can still... No, it's not a genuine friendship. Okay? It's not a genuine friendship. You're sitting there saying, how can someone who say they loved me and say that they were in love with me and wanted to be with me and wanted to do all this, we were just lovers yesterday, now all of a sudden you just want to be friends today? It's not genuine at all. They want to keep you around in the loop. They want to put you in that merry-go-round of exes, people that they used to deal with, people that they used to talk to, people that they are talking to. They want to keep you in that loop. Now, what they'll end up doing is they'll end up offering their assistance because you're friends. They'll say, well, you know, if we're friends, I mean, we can still do things for each other, help each other out, and so forth and so on. That in turn is going to make you question the breakup. Well, you know what? We really didn't have many problems, but, you know, this person, maybe they're a really good person. They're going to try to infiltrate your mind with that. Don't fall for it. Okay. After any breakup, some people stay friends for a number of reasons. But if you had a very toxic relationship, a toxic dynamic with someone who suffers from a personality disorder, all right, you can check my video on why narcissists like to stay friends. If you're dealing with someone who has a personality disorder and you know that for a fact, you've seen it already, it's not a good idea to be friends with them. Cut off all contact completely. Do what you have to do for you. They only want to be friends because if the new supply or whatever it is they're doing doesn't work out for them, they always have a place to go back to. They always have a place to rest their head again. Okay? And knowing how you feel about them, because they already cut things off, knowing that you're still in your feelings, they know that they can easily come back, pull at your heartstrings, and you know what? You'll fall right back into it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't make friends out of any exes. Okay? Do not make friends out of any exes. Have my reasons for it, and I'm glad I kept that number one rule. All right? Don't do it. If you have to co-parent with this person, then you co-parent with the person. You do what you got to do as a co-parent. But if you have no kind of ties children-wise, don't do it. And now another technique they use is threaten. Some narcissists may threaten you. They can threaten you criminally wise, or they can threaten you by blackmailing you. If they have information on you, they can threaten to share that information, that personal information. They can do things such as try to make you lose your job. They could show up at your workplace and just create all kinds of problems. Or they can pretty much manipulate the situation in that they can make you look to be the most horrible person on the face of this earth in front of everybody else, and they're the victims. Okay, narcissists like to use threats as a form of control. If you have children with them, if they have custody of the child, or if you want to just, spend time, they can threaten your time away from your children. They can use them against you. They can threaten you in any way, shape, or form. They can threaten to sabotage any future relationships that you have. They can threaten you by trying to, say, well, I'm going to take half of what you have. If you're married and you decided to, they can pretty much do anything. A narcissist is synonymous with manipulator, okay? Because that's exactly what they are. They're manipulators. And when they don't get what they want, or if they feel that they did not win in fully destroying you because you're starting to gain your strength, they will go through any measures. And much like I've said in my other videos, they're paranoid people too. So be very careful when you're dealing with them, okay? Because just the slightest hint of paranoia, they may actually act out on those threats. So be extremely careful. Protect yourself at all times. And lastly, the next tactic that they use is guilt and blame. Now, this is I was going to leave you before you were going to leave me anyway. This is after the Hoover attempt failed. This is after you have seen through all of their nonsense and you've seen what it is they're doing, because it was the same song and dance. The false promises, I've repented, I've changed, we can make it work, it's going to be better this time, and all of this, and blah, blah, blah. When you decide not to feed into it, and you say, nope, not going to happen. That's the messages that they send you afterwards. They'll, point out everything that's wrong with you. They'll point out everything that was wrong with the relationship, how it was all your fault. I didn't want you anyway, so whatever, it don't matter. That's like the, at worst case scenario, because, listen, we all take accountability for what we have contributed in any kind of dynamic in our lives, any relationships in our lives. But a narcissist won't do that. So they're going to shift everything to the other person. And when the whole nice routine and the whole I'm changed routine and the whole, they're trying to get back into your good graces doesn't work because you already can see through the bullshit, then they resort to trying to insult you. They resort to, well, I didn't want you anyway. You're nothing. You wouldn't be anything without me. And no. See, narcissists look at people like they're inanimate objects. They own you. Okay, if you've been in a dynamic with a narcissist, let's say for several years, you belong to them. Even if you're in a relationship with someone else, you belong to them, okay? When they start to see that you're getting serious with someone else, and they start to see that the other person that you're with is actually appreciating you and treating you the way you should be treated, they can't have that. You see, you can mess around, you can dabble around, but always know that to the narcissist, when they want you, how they want you, when they call on you, when they snap their fingers, you have to answer to them. That's how they see it in their eyes. Okay? And female narcissists, they think they're queens. They think that they're, everybody worships me, so I must be a queen. No, that does not make you a queen. Male narcissists, well, all these females are stroking an ego for something that they really don't have. Come on now. You really gonna let them be a tyrant, be bullies, put you down, hurt you? You know, I mean, come on. Come on. Everybody needs to start waking up, okay? And it's not just narcissists. It's anybody who's manipulative, anybody who is toxic, anybody who has to resort to manipulation to get what it is that they want. And then when shit doesn't go their way because of whatever reason, you're in your healing stages, you're in your healing, you know, you're becoming more empowered. They think, well, you know what? You loved me once, so I can say and do anything to make you love me again. No, it don't work that way. It does not work that way. Especially when you're dealing with someone who not only healed, but they decided, I'm going to give my heart a rest, and I'm going to let my brain do the thinking and the talking for me. Now, just a side note, if a narcissist knows that you know who they are, and you can see through it, they might not attempt to hoover you. They might not come back. They might just say it's a lost cause because this person already sees through my bullshit. So why am I going to set myself up, set my ego up to be shot down? Maybe even worse. And that's okay. That is perfectly okay. Focus on your healing. Focus on what you deserve, what you can accomplish without a narcissistic individual, what you can accomplish in a relationship, in your life, okay, what you can do independently and with someone. Focus on that. You've come this far. Don't fall back. Well, guys, these are some of the hoovering tactics that narcissists use. I know there are a lot more, okay? A lot more that I haven't listed. In fact, I'm probably going to do another video on more hoovering tactics. But if you know of hoovering tactics that I haven't listed already and, you know, you want to share them, put them in the comment section. You don't know who might need to hear it. You don't know who might need to see it, who's going through it, and they don't know what to look for. They don't know what to look out for. Okay, that's the whole point of these videos. It's to help people discern, use your intuition. That's the whole point of the channel. Intuitive vibes. Okay, that's what we're here for. We're here to help other people so they don't have to go through the motions, so they don't have to go through it. I mean, we may not be able to help every single person. Maybe not everybody wants help, but even if there's just one other person who needs to know, who needs to understand, and who needs to help, then that's all that matters. All right. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. All right. I hope that, you know, I was able to give you, you know, some of what it is that you may need to help you in coping and discerning and just an overall dealing with people like this. I mean, there are millions of other videos in regards to it too. But for those who tune into me, I do appreciate it. I'm so appreciative of the support, and I'm so appreciative of, you know, the channel growing. And I do hope that I really exceed everyone's expectations. And I hope that I'm able to help people in any way, shape, or form, you know? So guys, if you have any suggestions, if you have anything you want to add to it, please leave me a comment, leave me feedback, you know, and just know that I'm so appreciative of everything. Truly am. You guys really put me in a better place, in a better space, and knowing that I have a support system and you have a support system, that's the most important thing. We're here to make a difference. We're here to make a change, and we're here to help as many people as possible. So whatever experiences you have, whatever knowledge you have, sharing is caring. It really is. You never know who really needs it. All right. So guys, hope you enjoyed it. I will be working on my next video. And until next time, namaste.